To be successful in business, you need special genes designed for maximum performance. So says this Mercedes-Benz brochure from 2009. We will return to the genes shortly. The Mercedes-Benz E63 AMG 2010 model year, international and European market brochure. 525 horsepower, naturally aspirated, 6.2 litres, hand-built in Altebach. At the time of this brochure's publication, the BMW M5 had a naturally aspirated V10 and the Audi RS6 had a turbocharged one. AMG had 8 cylinders and an argument to make. The cover. Silver car, head-on, filling a narrow passage between glass towers. The city blurred on either side. The three-pointed star sits top right. Below, in open space type, the new E63 AMG. That is all. It is enough. The first spread opens the argument in full. The E63 is photographed in motion through an anonymous modern cityscape. Cold light, pale concrete, glass facades rendered sharp and indifferent. The headline, Serious Sport meets Business Class. And then, in the body copy below, that sentence that earns a moment of its own. To be successful in business, you need special genes designed for maximum performance. The car is not presented as something you might want. It is presented as something biologically necessary. The brochure does not explain what becomes of those without the correct genes. It doesn't need to. The intended reader has already assumed themselves into the qualifying category. The next page turns to efficiency. The E63 in profile, static now, parked on cobblestones before another glass and steel facade. The headline, Less gives you more, at least when it comes to weight and fuel consumption. The body copy announces that the new E63 AMG is 12% more fuel efficient than its predecessor and frames this fact as a competitive masterstroke. For those who want to outperform their competitors, less can sometimes mean more. The combined consumption figure, 12.6 litres per 100 kilometres, lives in a small regulatory text block elsewhere. Such exemplary effectiveness never ceases to amaze, every time you get behind the wheel. Over the page we find 2 rear three-quarter shots, one of the E-Class in urban domain, the other of the car threading through pale and sparse woodland. The copy pivots from efficiency to duality. A sports car with exemplary handling dynamics or a comfortable executive saloon, the new E63 AMG is both, and everything in between, because you can change its character to deliver precisely what you want, all at the push of a button. The push of a button. Over the page, the camera moves in close. On the left, front lights and bumper, a front wheel, an 18 or, optional, 19-inch 5-spoke AMG alloy, and further back, the 6.3 badging. On the right-hand side, we find an image of the rear quarter, exhaust tips visible, a spoiler lip catching afternoon light. The headline, Pay attention to every detail and you're sure to make a good impression. The body copy notes that the darkened by xenon headlamps, quote, reflect its inner values in truly impressive style. Inner values, reflected in the design of the headlights. This is the page. The E63 photographed from the rear, parked on an apron of pale tarmac that extends to the horizon. Top right, rendered small but entirely deliberate, a space shuttle on its launch pad. The headline, Consistency is the key to achieving even the most ambitious of aims. The choice to place a performance saloon against a spacecraft is not accidental. It is the brochure's central argument made visible, that the engineering philosophy which produces a race start function is the same quality of thinking that puts things into orbit. The body copy confirms it. No compromises were made during development of the new E63 AMG, the aim being to ensure high-octane excitement all the way. Then, with something close to understatement, not to mention the emotive sound for a truly memorable driving experience. The emotive sound of the naturally aspirated V8. The Space Shuttle, it should be noted, had a combined fuel consumption figure that also did not feature prominently in its promotional literature. Now we move to the interior. A wide cabin shot, AMG sports seats in dark Napa leather with prominent bolsters, carbon fibre trim catching light along the dash and centre console. Through the windows, the trees from the sparse forest. The headline: "The world around you may be speeding up, but you can still take time to relax." The body copy offers the brochure's clearest statement of intent. Welcome to the new E63 AMG. First class in business class. The car is the complete professional, always working. The driver, surrounded by finest Napa leather, including on the dashboard, has simply been given permission to enjoy it. 2 photographs. Left, the AMG Sport steering wheel, aluminium shift paddles visible at 9 and 3, the instrument cluster behind it calm and numerically confident. Right, a close-up of the gearshift and AMG drive unit console, shot against near darkness. Machined dials, the E-Select lever, carbon fibre surround. It is photographed with the deliberateness of avionics. The headline: "To get ahead quickly, you need to be in the right mode. So it's good to have a choice of 4. The body copy reframes 4 transmission modes: controlled efficiency, sport, sport plus, and manual, as professional tools for professional contexts. If you are used to having your plans implemented quickly and directly, the leading-edge E63 AMG is just the ticket. The modes are labelled C, S, S+, and M. There is also a mode marked RS, Race Start. It does not feature in this paragraph. The mechanical heart. The brochure opens fully here. 2 cutaway images occupying the left and centre, the specification block filling the right in large, unadorned type. No lifestyle photography. No headline. Just the evidence, at scale. Left, the AMG SpeedShift MCT 7-speed transmission in section. A dense assembly of shafts and clutch packs, offered without explanation, as if the complexity alone is the argument. The copy on the transmission. Premiere for a sports saloon. The variable AMG SpeedShift MCT 7-speed sports transmission with a double declutching function, race start function, and 4 modes. Controlled efficiency for economical driving, sport, sport plus, and manual for enhanced dynamism and increasingly fast gear changes in less than 100 milliseconds. And then, at the heart of this high-tech transmission is the compact startup clutch, which replaces the conventional torque converter and translates accelerator pedal movements into forwards thrust without any fuss and, crucially, without any slip whatsoever. Without any slip whatsoever. Slip is waste. The E63 AMG does not waste. Centre, the powertrain and suspension geometry, skeletal, isolated against white, the front axle geometry fully exposed. The suspension copy notes, without irony, that the newly developed AMG high-performance brakes, with 360mm solid discs on the rear wheels, provide outstanding deceleration for a car weighing nearly 2 tons, and are, quote, exceptionally fade-resistant. The specification block follows. 8 cylinders, V arrangement. Displacement, 6,208 cubic centimetres. Marketed, with a nod to tradition, as 6.3 litres. Rated output, 386 kilowatts, 525 horsepower at 6,800 revolutions per minute. Torque, 630 Newton meters at 5,200 revolutions per minute. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 4.5 seconds. Top speed, 250 kilometers per hour, electronically governed. Curb weight, 1,840 kilograms. Urban fuel consumption, 18.2 litres per 100 kilometers. The engine. An imagined cutaway of the M156 V8 showing the 8 pistons moving as the crankshaft spins. The headline. Good figures always cause a stir. The body copy makes the following claim with a straight face. Amid all the outstanding performance data of the AMG 6.3-litre V8 engine, the number 1 still shines out. It is one of the reasons behind the power plant's exemplary reliability and durability. After all, every AMG engine is built and tested at the AMG engine workshops based on our proven one-man, one-engine principle. The number. The singular number. The reason for the reliability. The brochure is sincerely proud of this. In the centre, 3 interior cabin shots, the front seats and dashboard, each in a different leather combination. Black on black, reef grey with alpaca grey, mocha brown with almond beige. Then, on the right, we see how the E63 is equipped for business. The AMG Performance Studio offers, among other things, a rear axle differential lock, 19-inch forged wheels, and an exterior carbon package. Everything a number 1 could wish for. The final page. Legal text. In the brochure's characteristic open serif, take-back of end-of-life vehicles, coming full circle. At the end of its long life. But that day, the brochure notes, lies a long way off. You would certainly hope so, and, looking at current market values, it's difficult to imagine many owners will be taking Mercedes AMG up on their offer. The W212 E63 AMG was not presented in 2009 as a farewell. Neither AMG nor its copywriters appear to have understood it as one. The M156 was a return to natural aspiration after the supercharged W211, and it felt, at the time, like a continuation of business as usual. The brochure's task was to position excess as a strategy, to dress 6,208 cubic centimetres in the language of McKinsey and Savile Row, and send it out to compete against V10s with and without a pair of turbochargers. It turned out, without meaning to be the last business case AMG would ever make for a naturally aspirated V8. The market moved on. The engine, and its emotive sound, did not.